Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you very much to our host here at the AXA Auditorium, the GSE faculty, the GSE staff, graduate students, and relatives. My congratulations to all of you graduating today. I was asked to say a few words as a former graduate and a current alumnus about my experience at the GSE, what it meant to me, how it helped me throughout my career afterwards, and to share some related thoughts with you. I'll be brief. When I decided to attend the GSE Master Program, as most of you, I guess, I wanted to deepen my understanding of economics, particularly in my passion was macroeconomics at the time. And here I was looking forward to study with the GSE world-class faculty, get in touch with the excellence of its scientific research. But what really represented a cultural breakthrough for me was the approach to the discipline of economics that I found here, that this is promoted by this school. The rigorous quantitative approach to the study of economics. At that point in my undergraduate studies, I'd taken my course in math, I took my statistics and my economics, but it was almost as separated branches. I guess that I hadn't really figured out completely at that point the synergies involved. Then that year, we started in September, rebuilding brick by brick the basic economic theory, demonstrating every step along the way from an analytical standpoint. And then we got to study mixed with the theory as a united subject, the mathematical and the statistical tools that economists had learned to use to understand expected interactions around incentives and structure taken into account by their econometrics models. And that was inspiring. And then the encounter with programming, such a powerful instrument of analysis that I began to get acquainted with that year in this school. So when I was looking for a job in spring, I was hoping for something that could be a potential source of some kind of motivating question and hypothesis that could be then somehow brought to data and tested with statistical methods, those that I study and using the analysis tools that I had in order to guide decision or policies. And I was lucky enough to start working in one of the first management consulting firms that was specialized in the use of quantitative techniques for tactical decision-making in companies, primarily in the financial sector and in retail. Now that sounds quite mainstream, but 6 years ago it wasn't that common as it is now. And then the real study started for me. Along the way, since I had to keep the pace with the data revolution that healed almost every kind of business models in the last decade. So at first, it was SAS, which is an analytical software as commercial banks and insurance, for some reason, don't like MATLAB that much. Then it was database management system, structured query language that I had to learn. That it was the time of R and Python, and as statistical languages get trendy, and there is the trends like in clothes. So then most recently, distributed processing methods and cloud computing environments became the standard in this industry. So later on, and this is the thought that I want to share with you, I realized that I had the appropriated math and statistical skills that I'm using on a daily basis in my job as a consultant. But on the other hand, looking back, I wonder if maybe my training in economics relied a little bit too much on the assumption that in the future I was going to deal with information. Information that as economists we need to know about incentives, prices, etc. But information is a very rare luxury in the real world, because in the real world information is usually just not available as such. It is hidden in an ocean of data, difficult to retrieve and to manipulate. So the last part of my training, so I guess this was my way to get up to date, which is of course still ongoing, was making this first fundamental step from the data that I have available to the information that I need to put in practice the tools that I've learned. So as you complete your master program, entering in industry, in the academia, into public institutions, my humble advice to you, based on my limited experience, would be this. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty with the more computational aspects of decision making. Get involved in this very first step that I described. Because information is the only way we have to design successful policies or strategies. And information is embedded into data. And for better and worse, data is a commodity that you have to deal with electronically, and that it is subject to the rules of computing and programming. This is the thought I wanted to share with you. And finally, just a last little piece of advice, now that the fun part starts for you, and you're going to do very different things. From here, I see a very outstanding group of very high-quality people. And so what I think is that this is most probably the last time that you will be in the same room together. So this year, you've created bonds that will survive long after you'll have forgotten how to log linearize a budget constraint. So preserve this social capital that you have now, since as the years pass by, the network of trust that you started this year will grow in importance and in value. In the last 6 years, I worked with several former GSE students. I had the opportunity to make business with some of them, and one is currently a business partner of mine. So these things matter. So keep track of your fellow graduate students around the world. Keep an eye on the alumni activities that the GSE staff manage so diligently. And finally, keep in touch. Thank you very much. And congratulations.
And so I'd like to give the floor to some students. I apologize. You're no longer a student, you're an alumni.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to the students, parents, and professors. It's really wonderful. I'm out of my speech now, but like looking at all of you, and it's really a pleasure. It has been a pleasure knowing you personally. So, my name is Jakub first, and I'll be representing the economics class, 2013-2014. Last fall, more than 200 aspiring young men and women from all across the planet booked flight tickets to Barcelona. They may differ in age, mother tongues, political affiliations, religions, and football clubs they support. But they all came to Barcelona, and particularly to Barcelona GSE, sharing a passion for a common field of inquiry, what we like to call economics. Just as physicists study the magnificent world of planets, atoms, and matter, economists aim at understanding the mysterious world of humans and how they behave and interact with each other through the machinery of the markets. One of the beautiful things that economics accomplish really well is to combine the biology at its core, since we are apes interacting through markets, and the mathematical models that makes economics look like physics at its higher form. Coming to Barcelona GSE, some of us wanted to further their knowledge in macroeconomics and financial markets, and to understand why crises happen, how central banks conduct monetary policy, and why some nations grow while others fail. Others were interested in micro-oriented policymaking and the application of economics to policy, practical problems of daily life. Other breed of GSE student was the behavioral experimental kind, who were experimenting in humans and trying to understand how humans behave and how decision-making processes happen. And finally, the people that I really like and who are few but are wizards, the people who were really interested in macro theory and econometric theory at its most abstract level. Felipe, there. We might have different courses and interests, but we all came here to understand economics better and to be equipped with theoretical and technical tools that will make us able to understand reality better and to make scientific value-free statements about the economy. And in my opinion, Barcelona GSE, with its highly technical, rigorous master's program, was the right place to accomplish this goal. A nice thing about being a student at GSE is the econocentric environment of the school. Whether you are eating paella in the cafeteria, standing next to the library coffee machine with a café con leche in hand, and sometimes a cigarette, my parents don't know. Washing your hands in the bathroom, or even chilling in a bar in Gotico or Bor, you will find your GSE buddies around you, entertaining an idea of Keynes or Friedman, or just simply applying the rules of economics to situations like how to optimally ask a cute girl for her number in the bar. Being at GSE is like being in an economics version of the Big Bang Theory with many Sheldon Coopers all around. Attending GSE was not only about the quality of professors and classes we took, but also about the quality of the peers and their intellectual curiosity, which made the learning process outside the classroom very valuable as well. So thank you all. It has been a pleasure. And I hope to see you anywhere you are, like doing research together, business together, visiting each other. It has been a pleasure, and good luck. I will be passing the microphone to my colleague Kat from ITFD. She will be speaking about the challenges of academia. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, Yaku. Hello, everyone. Let me begin by first thanking my fellow classmates for honoring me with representing the 2014 class of International Trade, Finance, and Development. To all of you, congratulations, everyone. You now all officially have a master's degree in the language of economics. Welcome to a world where you can't say significant unless it's followed by a confidence level, a world divided into ex ante and ex post, de facto and de jure, a world never maximal, always optimal. I first learned economics was a language not when Microsoft Word told me procyclicality isn't in the English dictionary, or even when a teaching assistant told us just to leave the real world outside. But when I heard a professor say, "I don't want to set office hours ex ante." In English, of course, appointments by email. But aside, we've earned our ticket and worked hard for admission. I remember wanting to tell my families and friends so many times, "You don't know how hard I'm working to be here right now. You don't know how hard I've worked to get here." But it was pointless, because they wouldn't really understand. But the benefit of you, my beautiful audience, is you do understand. You understand exactly what I mean when I say how hard we've worked to get here, how much we've learned, how much we've fought. Think of these days when you're not sure what you're capable of. When you think of these days, laugh and triumph at the task ahead of you. If you look through the tunnel and see nothing at the end, think of these days, because at the end, there may be that good grade in experimental, or a badge of honor in financial econometrics, or even a master in economics. This has been an extremely hard year for us, and I know all of us have cemented a knowledge that we can succeed under any adverse circumstances. This is truly the biggest feat of our day, and I'm so proud of every one of us. We all have worked so hard, and we've all truly learned so much. When I think about the most valuable thing I learned here at the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics, I could easily say how Dr. Ventura ingrained in us to look at the extremes, or how sunspots have anything to do with inflation, or even how, in the words of Dr. Arellano, GMM can approximate any econometric regression in this life and the afterlife combined. That's a direct quote. But the most valuable thing I learned about myself and about everyone in this room truly is that we are capable of so much, especially when we work together. The camaraderie here has been invaluable and a touching part of this experience, and we would not be here without the support of every one of us. Between all the moments, the grades, research, and jokes, the truth is that I'm here in front of all of you because I'm so thankful for all the support and friendship you've given me, for how we've made our experience together, and for how we've proven able to do anything. Our long nights would not have been possible without our sense of humor, our effort, and our enthusiasm. I hope that as future economists, we can make the world as united as we have been and felt as a team this past year. I'm honored to have been accepted here and by all of you. I know that you all will go on to do great things, and I thank you all for making this chapter so loving and memorable. I want to give special recognition to our brilliant professors and hardworking staff, and to thank my mom, my brother, and my grandparents for getting me here. I end quoting the great words of Dr. Alumni, who says, "My voice is only calibrated for 5 minutes. So do dream big and do bigger, class of 2014. I leave it to Montesir. Thank you all very, very much."
Thanks, Kat. Good evening, everyone. I am Muntasir Mamun Iqbal, and it is indeed a great honor and pleasure to be the representative agent for my household of macroeconomic policy and financial markets. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to disclose that the rumors about macro students being subjected to scientific experiments in Beatara campus is only partially true. And yes, we exist, and here we are. 10 months ago, we all gathered here in this beautiful city in Barcelona to receive excellent education in economics. Let's just keep that as an assumption for the simplicity of our model, and also the only thing that our parents should know. I still remember during the first days of our brush-up courses, one of our fellow colleagues very famously commented, after finishing a problem set in time period t, there always exists another one in t plus 1, for all t is equals to 1 to infinity. We were living the life of deadlines, a never-ending to-do list. We never ceased to be surprised by our professors' endless provisions of problem sets, which were often termed as weekend entertainments. We were barged with so much information and work that I'm rather surprised that our brains did not explode with all the nervous breakdowns we had all throughout the year. We were occupied by our studies that we began to talk and think only in economic terms. We would answer every question in life by forming a Lagrangian and doing a first-order condition. If one integral was not enough to explain the economic intuition, we would make 2 to 3 integrals and think in a three-dimensional state space, We would log linearize our arguments at the steady state and only focus on closed economies because open economies are way too mainstream. I remember once Barcelona GSE had given us a global survey to get a sense of our perception regarding the life in Barcelona. But with our life revolving around the program, we could only name the UAB cafeteria as our favorite restaurant, Beatera as the tourist hotspot, and reach as far as Sabadell for a day trip. As you can imagine, for the last 10 months, our life was literally revolved around Barcelona GSE. This past 10 months has indeed been very challenging, to say the least. We have come very far and polished our minds. But today, I would rather convey how experience at Barcelona GSE have shaped us in a much deeper way. Every time we felt that we had been pushed to our limits, we were given more challenges, and to our amazement, we managed to accommodate and not only face those challenges, but excelled in them. We were taught to go beyond our comfort zone, in fact, go beyond our capabilities, and keep striving till we could accomplish what was needed to be done. This is an invaluable lesson that will always help us to remain confident as we face the myriad of hurdles of life brought to us in any field we go. Although macroeconomic policy, the class was very small. We were 17 students from all parts of the world, for all ages, ethnicities, backgrounds, and cultures. We still managed to form our very small little family. I must stress that we have been able to come this far by being united and by supporting each other all throughout. We have truly learned the meaning of learning and working in groups to make the best of each individual's expertise to attain the best possible results. I personally believe this is an invaluable lesson that we will learn while we venture out to make a difference in this world. As you can see, Barcelona GSE has taught us a lot, and all of this would not have been possible without the enormous effort put by our program director, Professor Francisco Obiols, and our program coordinator, Sira Mora. On behalf of our entire class, we would like to thank our staff and the entire staff of Barcelona GSE. I would also like to take this moment to thank my parents, my Ammu and Abu sitting there, and all the parents who traveled all over the world to be a part of this great occasion. And for the rest of us, I would like to thank and congratulate all of you for reaching this milestone. And as our great professor Jordi Galí would say, macro class of 2014, do you have any questions? Very good indeed. Now that I've spoken all the depressing life that we had over the last 10 months, let's hear about the fun things that we did from Eleonora.
So now that the previous speeches have established that we are definitely raging nerds, I will try and attempt to also show that we were a fun crowd. And I am not just talking about you guys in ITFD. Actually, as well as being a fun crowd, we were also a profoundly multicultural group. Coming from extremely diverse backgrounds, we have learned about each other's differences and cultures. Through this melting pot that GSE successfully managed to create, cultures melded, and in this new syncretism, we gave birth to a proper culture to this class of 2014. So what do I mean by this? Let's attempt to define what culture is. And I will not pretend that I have the anthropological or sociological knowledge to bore you with a long definitional speech about culture. So I'm going to take the easy way out of this one, which is the British Oxford Dictionary. It defines culture as the ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. And I'd like to add to this definition the importance of language and a shared history. And I'll attempt to show that this is exactly what we did this year. So let's start by depicting some of the shared customs and social behaviors. For example, when setting up a reunion, or a party, or whatever appointment with friends, we would always ask each other, will he, she be Canadian punctual? Which generally means 10 minutes early. British or German punctual, which generally means right on time. Spanish late, or Colombian late, which varies from 1 to 2 hours. It is hard to plan with Latinos. Just kidding, I'm partly Venezuelan myself. I felt I had to say that to soothe those who are shocked by political incorrectness. And by the way, I apologize in advance for some of the cultural stereotyping that is about to follow. So we have also managed to create our own language, and for that, I would like to thank the strong influence of the Italian ghetto. We have all enriched our vocabulary, incorporating such expressions as super schifo, which just ended up being part of our GSE Newspeak. I think just the sonority of it makes it much more powerful than plainly saying this is really disgusting. Also, the local Catalan culture permeated into our vocabulary with funny-sounding words and expressions like si us plau, via u. For those who took the train to Bellaterra, you'd understand. Or amanida. Through these exchanges, we created our own GSE language, which was also fed by all of what we learned in economics, as Kat and Muntasir already pointed out. And last but not least, we have a history of shared experiences, not only through the crazy problem sets and hefty workload, but also through all the shared activities and trips that we did together. Students bonded over football matches, volleyball matches, rugby matches. The BGSE running team participated in more than 8 10K races, a half marathon, and one crazy athlete went on to run the full Barcelona marathon. But besides all the sports, this experience in Barcelona was also about the trips, the birthdays, and parties we did together. We will all keep fond memories of our first picnic electronic or morning dips at the beach after a night of dancing. We will smile when remembering the first time we heard the lion roar or the elephant trumpet from the UPF library, wondering what the hell was going on. Some of you will keep memories of the ski trip, as for some it was the first time that you went down the slopes. Others will laugh back when thinking that they were too hungover to catch the morning bus to get to the slopes. The Macro and ITFD people will cherish the memories of their class trips to Costa Brava and Minorca. And this goes without mentioning all of the smaller trips that some of us did, with their respective shares of sightseeing, eating, drinking, shower parties, and normal parties. All of these experiences united us as a group with common memories, references, and language. So going back to the definition of what makes up culture, I believe that it is a shared language, a shared history of struggles and fun times, shared references, and I won't add more for fear of being philosophically patronizing or just bogged down boring, but I think that this is somehow what we have managed to accomplish this year, the creation of our own GSE group culture. So I will now pass on the microphone to my colleague Christian from Health Economics.
Thanks, Ellie. We've had the chance to hear my colleagues talk about the experiences they've had and challenges they've had to overcome over this past year. It felt like just yesterday I landed in El Prat, excited to start my master's program in health economics at the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics, and to spend a year here in Barcelona. Overwhelmed that I have accomplished my goal to live, study, and spend time in Europe, and have the opportunity to do what I love doing, traveling, meeting great people, and learning. Heck, I still recall using Google Maps Street View to look at Barcelona and where I'd be living, just to gain a glimpse of what life may be like here. Upon arriving, there was a mix of emotions and thoughts racing through my head, like, what will it be like to live in Barcelona, in Europe? What will my classmates be like when I start the program? Will I ever learn Catalan? And the like. Coming to Europe to live from the US, alone and not knowing anyone, wasn't an easy prospect. Having not gone back since I left, it has had its ups and its downs. But I have my friends that I've made throughout this year to thank for making this experience easier and just simply amazing. To engage and be surrounded by very intelligent, adventurous, and fun-loving people from around the world made this experience just that much better. It's been a growing experience, as I am sure it has been for many of you, where now we know ourselves just that much better. And now we have the opportunity to take these lessons learned and move forward. We have new connections and life experiences that have helped shape our perspectives on life, even in ways we don't quite realize yet. That's the beauty of what we've gained from this year. The world is constantly changing around us. One only has to read the news every day to understand the magnitude of these changes. Economics as a discipline is imperfect and ever-changing, and we as graduates are at the forefront of this tide of change. We can either fit within the status quo or challenge it. No matter if you studied finance, public policy, health, development, economics, macroeconomics, we are social scientists at the end of the day. Therefore, anything we do within our field ultimately affects society in some way. Like the pebble that drops in calm water, what you perceive as small ripples and spreads. So strive to make a positive impact. Don't regress, but continue to move forward. Our only enemy is complacency. I believe in my and all of your potential, and we are strapped with the knowledge to combat adversity and bring clarity to complex issues. It'll be sad to leave our friends here, but I take comfort in knowing that they will be successful, and one day I may see them again, if not in person, featured in The Economist, giving lectures at top-tier universities, in top levels of government, or even accepting a Nobel Prize. The possibilities are endless, and I know that all of you and myself are ready to take on any opportunity and challenge that may come our way. So embrace and enjoy the rest of your time here with friends. Say goodbye and thank you to your professors and directors. And let's prepare ourselves to take on the challenges our textbooks could not even begin to prepare us for. We are ready, and let's make the rest of our life count. Thank you, and thanks to you, my family. We're done. Thank you.